Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is a broad, focused, daily, all signs reading for the collective. It's a collective reading that we all share. If it pertains to us, take it and use it. If it does not, that's okay. Nothing's wrong. Nothing's broken. You just might be working on something different at this time. Please, for those of you that are new, check out the drop-down menu underneath any of the daily readings. It gives you instructions as to where to follow me on social media, how to book a private reading, what decks I'm using, things like that. So it just gives you a little bit of insight into the channel and the purpose of the channel. Also, please subscribe to the channel if you're new. Hit that thumbs up button. Leave a question or comment. I greatly appreciate all of that. I read all of that. This reading is now for the 17th of February, which would be Thursday. We've just had the full moon in Leo on the 16th, which will be tonight, actually. So pretty wonderful, intense energies. Hopefully, we can use them to the best of our ability. But we'll see how that goes for everybody. So this is for the 17th. If you're watching it on a date that's not the 17th, that's okay. If it still makes sense to your life as you're watching it on the date that you're watching it, take the reading rather than the date into account, okay? You will hear me refer back to the underpinning energy of the week. That's Sunday's reading that you'll find in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this video if you want to watch it for reference, because that is the full week. Like kind of what the underlying energy is or theme of the week is, and then each day that we build upon each set of cards we pull every day, I kind of incorporate into that to sort of add layers and depth to whatever it is we might be experiencing. So let's see what the card is for today. So we have Temperance. Beautiful card. I would say Temperance is probably like my third favorite card of the deck. I love the Star. I love the Page of Cups. I love Temperance. Temperance is Sagittarian energy, which is nice after this Leo full moon, right? Because it's in line with that fire energy that we have going on. Temperance is about, Sagittarius is associated with the planet of Jupiter, which is very benefic and very, giving, loving, expansive, right? Sag is also a mutable sign, meaning there's a lot of flexibility with Sagittarius energy. Temperance is about flexibility. Temperance is about maintaining balance even in the face of adversity, keeping one foot in the ground and one foot connected to sort of our emotions. It's oftentimes depicted with an angel. That's why I love the card so much. And she has one foot gently placed in the water while one foot is firmly placed on the ground. So she understands her like material self and her emotional self, and she's kind of pouring liquid between two cups, right? Sort of gently waiting, paying attention. I don't want to say biding her time, but knowing kind of when it's correct and right to act. Or see, I don't see Temperance as Temperance is an action card in the sense of it means to be patient and to like stay in your own lane. Try not to get too worked up about things. Try to just remain patient and calm and let sort of things work themselves out, because they will if we sort of get out of our own way, is my feeling with Temperance today. And I'm not even sure what this guy is doing here. Looks like he's beating a snake. I know that's not what he's doing, but he's doing some sort of work. He's actually giving me star vibes, to be honest. But this is very much about being patient, being observant, not necessarily being in the middle of everything, not trying to control everything, but allowing sort of the situation, the person, the whatever's got maybe our attention, allow it to show us what it is, rather than us try and turn it into what we need it to be. Does that make sense? And I like that this shows up after the full moon in Leo, because Full moons are about releasing. So when we release during that full moon, even if we're releasing in a positive way, like I was speaking in yesterday's reading about releasing things that we've sort of built up over the last month in desire of what we want. Temperance is about having that faith that whatever's for my highest good will work out in the end. You know, if I have to let go of something and walk away, or if I have to let go, like a release a dream and hope that it comes back to me, temperance is about standing still and being patient and having faith in oneself and the universe that whatever is right for you or whatever is in your best interest will sort of come back to you in time. That's my feeling with this card, right? And so keep that in mind as you're going through today. Strong opinions aren't necessarily something that goes along with temperance. Fighting is not something that goes along with temperance. Getting into debate or argument, that's not temperance. Temperance would be more about remaining patient and calm and listening to others and maybe trying to hear out their side and then maybe not reacting, not having an answer just yet, maybe taking a day or two to step back and go like, okay, what is this about? What does this mean, right, for me? And staying in touch with your emotions and staying grounded all the while. Sometimes an easier task said than done, but that's what that represents for me, or for us, I should say. Underneath, we have that Two of Wands energy, which is still that fire energy, which coincides nicely with this Sagittarian Temperance card, but it also coincides nicely with the full moon in Leo, right? And like I said, that release of that full moon, whatever that creation is or whatever we've been working on, we're releasing it out into the universe. The Two of Wands is about, okay, where do I want to be? What do I desire? How do I want to be connected to that desire? How do I find my connection or create that connection? Temperance tells us we can create that connection, but we can create that connection from a place of stability, peace, calm, gentleness. We don't have to force it. We don't have to like rush it. We don't have to shove it down anybody's throat to make it happen. Does that make sense? And so staying with that theme of the Two of Wands, underlying this Temperance card, there might be a push, there might be a desire, there might be a want to react, but we don't have to react. Okay? Let's see what the Seeker Oracle says. Expand your universe. Interesting that it says expand your universe, because when I think of Sagittarian energy and it being associated with Jupiter and being a mutable fire sign, the only mutable fire sign, which means it's flexible and malleable, Jupiter is the planet of expansion, right? Jupiter is now in Pisces, which should be a very magical time for people. So expanding your universe says to me, and I love how she has these sort of flames and coverage coming out of her third eye, right? Out of her sixth chakra. And it sort of connects her to maybe a higher consciousness in a way, right? But she has all of this going on around her third eye, where it's like kind of like growing out of her. Using our intuition to maybe look at situations, see situations from a different perception or a different, instead of, how do I want to say this? Like being more intuition guided at this time to expand our universe and our perception of situations from a more peaceful place rather than from an emotional reactive place or from a mental reactive place. And what I mean by that is sometimes we react to situations or people or whatever we're experiencing from a place of lack, fear, anger, pain. And that's not necessarily what these cards are telling us to do today. What I feel like they're telling us to do is rise up into our upper chakras, rise up into our higher understanding, into a more peaceful state, a more expansive state, and understand that maybe what's going on around us, even if it's not looking like it's going on in our favor or in the way we would like, that maybe it's exactly what we need at this time. And to be patient with it and allow it to show you where it's taking you or what it's teaching you. Does that make sense? And that's where her third eye is open here. There's also this sort of dragon mask, which says to me she's somewhat protected. I love how her hairline is glowing, which it would be her seventh chakra, which is her knowing, which also connects her to this higher knowledge above her in the universe, right? So let me read her story to you. I also love that she has wings too on either side of her face, similar to how Temperance is represented by an angel. Expand your universe. Look up. It's time to be curious and to shift your attention to global and universal issues. Expand your knowledge, expand your mind, monitor global events, become an informed observer. Even when it appears that global issues have little importance or bearing on your community, they may have an unseen and unanticipated influence or be part of the global issue that will ultimately affect the inhabitants of the entire planet. You don't have to travel to learn about other countries' politics, geography, and industry. There is a wealth of information at hand if you are willing to look, read, learn, ask questions, discover. Learning about other cultures promotes understanding and may reveal ties to your community that you did not consider. Explore other countries' politics, industries, trade, languages, social habits, food, music, and art. We live in a multicultural world, and in looking beyond our borders, we can learn more about other cultures that dwell within them. Familiarize yourself with the natural world and the impact we humans are having on the other inhabitants of Earth. What animals or plants are indigenous to specific countries or regions? And of those animals and plants, how many are endangered or close to extinction? What are the potential consequences if we allow them to die? Understand that we live in a global community, and issues that affect countries distant from yours, such as political unrest, trade relationships, social injustice, natural disasters, and environmental concerns, often have far reaching effects that can have a direct and indirect impact on your life. That's exactly why I do this collective reading every day, because we all share collective energies that we're all experiencing in different ways throughout the entire world. And I believe that these cards are telling us, like this card says, expand your universe and think about other cultures. But I also think that the more underlying message here too, for a more on a more individual basis, is expanding your universe beyond what you think is right, in any given situation. And you can do that by slipping into this temperance card, into this gentle understanding, into this sort of grounded yet emotional perception of how things might be for you, but how are they for others, right? Within a situation, within your community, within your world, within your state, right? It might make the things that you're dealing with today or of recent seem less volatile, important, stressful, all of that sort of stuff. Does that make sense? And so there could be a freedom in all of this. The grounding stone for today is remember. Now, remember to me sometimes takes me to this place about remembering who we are or remembering why we're here. But when I think about the grounding stone of this week that underpins all of this is that word promise. And that makes me think of the promise of, oh, I'm going to get weepy. I had a dream last night that I was in a hotel and I couldn't find Tallulah. I kept calling her name and she wouldn't come. So I just woke up from that, guy. So I'm a little bit emotional from that. But this remember underneath this promise to me is that remembering at a deeper level, because there's so much sort of fire energy going on right now, right? We have the Two of Wands, we have Temperance, and we have this expand your universe, which to me, this is a very fiery card also in the design. That fire is representational of spirit. And that word promise to me is like, did we make a promise to ourselves or a pact, an agreement, a contract within our own soul as to why we came here? And maybe today is to remember that, and not specifically exactly what that purpose was or, oh, I came here to do this, right? But maybe just to remember that at some point in somewhere in our evolution, there was a contract created for us to come here and do the best that we can. And are we doing that, right? And to look at that from a place of temperance, from balance, from non judgment, not judging ourselves, not judging anybody else, but looking at ourselves and then looking at our communities, looking at our world, and trying to understand them from a more gentler place. And then remembering what our part is in all of this. What was our promise? To create more promise in this world, to create more opportunity, more growth, more evolution in this world. And how can we live up to that today? Right? How can we serve ourselves by doing that for ourselves, and thus in doing that we end up like showing others the way to do it for themselves, just through action rather than like teaching through being rather than there's a phrase in recovery, uh, attraction rather than promotion, right? Sometimes we can attract people to higher ways of being by just being in a higher way of being in our own right, right? Sometimes we might put people off. They might take offense to it, or, oh, look at them over there being like that. Those people don't matter. It's not that they don't matter, but it's like, don't let that negativity bring you down. Remember who you are. Remember the promise you made to yourself when you came here. At some level, at spirit, you did promise yourself to grow, to evolve, to learn. And then all the human stuff comes in, the societal rules, the limitations, the polarities. And we have to deal and work our way through those, but we are working to find our way back to that promise and to remember who we truly are, not only individually, but also collectively. That is your reading for the day. I hope it makes sense. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, share it out, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. I'm trying to grow the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. Utilize this full moon to the best of your ability and really enjoy yourself and love yourself at this time. All right, take care. Bye-bye.